So my name's Rory. I'm the president of Thinking About Thinking, and I have most recently been a postdoc at Harvard and MIT, where I study cognitive science and AI, and I try to use insights from studying humans to build better machines, and recent technology from studying machines to make better models of humans. So in doing so, I kind of became very interested in the question of, could we do better science? Could we create AI scientists by understanding what's so magical and impressive about human problem solving in science? So it's a little bit about myself.
That's awesome. And I know that you're running two different sessions. I'm wondering what days those will be on and what they're going to be on.
Yeah, that's right. So as president, I get to run the sessions that no one else felt up for running. And so the first one of those, end of day one, is on AI infrastructure, and in particular, how Britain can get ahead at AI infrastructure. And so this is actually a really interesting time because of recent announcements by NVIDIA and Nscale and the British government, all of whom are actually speaking at the summit. And so in the past, Britain has had this syndrome of having great AI talent, but not enough compute to back it up. And Google DeepMind, of course, being this interesting example where DeepMind, a British company, in the end felt like they had to go to Google to get the data and compute they needed to scale their ideas and algorithms. But it looks as though Britain is getting a big compute injection. And so I think what everybody is wondering is, will that take us to the forefront of AI? What will it look like? And also, ultimately, how much of that money will stay in the UK? These are all really big, interesting questions. So that's at the end of day one.
That's awesome. And the second one?
Second one is AI and entrepreneurship. And there it's another question about the UK has a lot of talent. The UK's got talent. How do we amp up that talent into making just amazing startups that, on the one hand, generate real value for the world, and improve the life of people in this country and abroad? And so there, I'm privileged to have Minister Kanishka Narayan on. So he's the Minister for AI and Online Safety. Going to do a fireside chat with him. Very interested to see what this government is going to do about encouraging AI startup. So, a huge amount of the businesses in the world at the moment, they're very successful, began in startup, we're back to a venture, and we're seeing AI as really like a great sort of disruptive force to allow lots of different people to do startup on AI itself. After the fireside chat with Kanishka and a couple of mystery guests, I'm going to run this panel, quite an ambitious panel, which has the title, How to Build a £1 Trillion AI Company.
That's terrific. Wow. I'm looking forward to that for sure. And Rory, so your background is, you have a medical degree as a doctor, you have a math, PhD, I believe, and yeah, all kinds of work in all kinds of science areas. But I'm curious, what caused you to focus on AI specifically and the industry side of AI in particular, going from very theoretical principles about, cognition to something like this?
It's a great question. And, I think the answer actually is right behind you. So I've always been interested in thinking about thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was kind of growing up, became very interested in biochemistry. That was my first degree. And it just seemed amazing to me when I was in high school that this blob of jelly, weighing 1.3 kilogram, can give rise to this rich human experience. How did that happen? So that's what my first degree. And back in the 20th century, we learned a lot about intelligence through studying when it went wrong. That's what drew me into medicine, to try and think, okay, well, where are the clues as to how the system might work? Then going on from that, I really loved medicine, and in particular the caring component. You spend your time and energy enriching people's lives in a really meaningful way. But I began to see that the leading breakthroughs when thinking about intelligence were coming from computation, mathematics, statistics, computer science. And so around 2015, I started my PhD in computer science, and I got to think about how to apply these mathematical methods for understanding the brain. What does that tell us about humans? Increasingly, those questions became, well, okay, can we simulate interesting complex behavior? So it became increasingly about AI. And then your question about industry is spot on, because recently, all of us in academia too it's been clear that if big companies have enough compute, they can test our ideas or their ideas at scale. And that's where a lot of the breakthroughs are happening nowadays. So that's why I thought about, in this summit, a really important thing is to think about research breakthroughs in general, not just academia, but also industry. Have those people talking to each other, have those people thinking about how they can collaborate, and then bring them into this sort of wider public consciousness.
That's amazing. Well, so excited for this conference. Thank you so much, Rory, and a lot of great work is being done.
As I said, always a pleasure, Ashley. Thank you.